So I don't know about you, but I'm a naturally kind of relaxed, retiring person. I like to avoid conflict, but every now and then, I feel like listening to an album and I'm in a mood where I just want to rail against the world and stick it to the man. And I don't listen to a lot of punk music. I actually like to tell people, as a joke, that punk is dead because the system works. But there is one album that I really like. It is the album The Monitor by Titus Andronicus. This is technically, apparently, a punk indie album, although I didn't even think of it as a punk album until I looked it up on Wikipedia before making this video. I really like this album. And it's the kind of album I think you can listen to the first track and you're going to work out immediately whether you are going to enjoy the rest of the album. Because number one, the first track is really long and it's almost like an overture for the whole album. But number two, it's the kind of album where the singers don't sing, they kind of more scream and mumble, and you can almost hear the spittle coming out of their mouths and settling on their beards. I'm assuming that they have beards. They sound like they have beards. This is a band from New Jersey. Please don't ask me to do a New Jersey accent. It will just be embarrassing for everyone involved. Came out in 2010. It sort of sounds like Nirvana, except with sort of Civil War themes. That's the best way I can personally describe it. And it's sort of, you know, the narrative voices of the kind of disaffected youth. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the different tracks on the album because they're kind of similar in theme, but the one track that I kind of wanted to mention was the track number 3, which is No Future, Part 3, Escape from No Future. And I wanted to mention this track because it's kind of interesting. It's a track about depression, and it's actually a track about taking antidepressants to treat depression. Now, I don't take antidepressants, but I do have some dear friends who do take antidepressants to help them with some issues, and you know, they aren't a magical cure-all. They do change the way you feel and think, and a lot of people don't like the way antidepressants make them feel, and it's a sort of double-edged sword situation. So the third track deals with some of the dark thoughts you might have when you're going through a depressive episode. It deals with some of the feelings of frustration and impotence that you might have when you're on antidepressants. And it kind of finishes off with this really unusual kind of chorus line that's repeated over and over again in the most kind of enthusiastic punk anthem, yeah, kind of way. The lines over and over again, you will always be a loser. And you know, this album might be a bit much for some people, or it might honestly be upsetting for some people. And if you are going through a tough time, seriously, reach out to your loved ones, reach out to resources that exist to help you out. Please, by all means, do that. Just want to put that out there. But I think that this album and that track in particular touch on a kind of an issue that I don't often see in lyrics. I mean, you hear a lot of tracks about generalized sadness, but I very rarely hear tracks that are about lining up at a pharmacy and waiting to get your script of antidepressants. So it's sort of really interesting that way. Anyway, I'm going to have links in the description of this video to the album. It's not as much of a downer as I make it sound like. It is actually a kind of rousing album to listen to. Have a listen, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week with Music Mondays. Bye!